Hey Tony, it's pretty early on Saturday right now. Sorry, we had our friends came over for our usual mask game on Friday. Went really late, and they just left like 10 minutes ago. So I apologize. It took a little while, but first off, to answer your question of the week, the trip was really good. I enjoyed it. I wish it was more scenic. That was one thing I really wish it was because like the one that was supposed to be our really good view, unfortunately, we got caught in a cloud, so we couldn't see anything except just fog around us. But otherwise, it was really nice. Really enjoyed spending time with mom and dad. Our shelters were good enough. I didn't really sleep well because I don't sleep well on just plain wood planks. I need to. Next time I do like a big trip, I'm going to be buying a sleeping pad. But otherwise, no, it was a good time. Also, Tripod says hello. Tripod. She's comfy. She's real comfy right now. So no, the trip was really nice. This week went a little unexpectedly and rather frustratingly. I don't know how much you knew because I messaged mom and dad about this, but I've been quarantined all week. So we had a friend over last Sunday, and his mom had tested positive on the Friday, and she hadn't told him. And so we ended up like, as soon as we found out from our friend, we're like, oh man, we need to quarantine and we need to get tested as soon as we can. So I was supposed to start work on Wednesday. That didn't happen because I think we found out on Tuesday about everything. It was Monday or Tuesday about everything that had gone on. And our appointment for our test was on Wednesday early. Luckily, all of our tests came back negative. Our friends came back negative. His mom was asymptomatic and didn't tell him, so there was no reason to believe it. So it turned into just a real frustrating situation. And it put me behind a week at work. I'm going to be starting next Wednesday instead of this past Wednesday. But we're fine. We're healthy. All tested negative. Just frustrating. That being said, the week really did become a lot better today. So, as I had mentioned before, we had our, usual Friday night mask game that we do every other week. Well, tonight's session honestly might have been my favorite mask session of all time. Like, truly, I'm not even being hyperbolic about this. It was so good. So I was playing as a soldier. And in our world, Aegis was really, really shady and really not good. And my character was kind of like seeing the flaws at Aegis, and there was a protest going on. She saw Tripod jump over there. There was a protest going on that let some members of the party or of the team in danger. And so my character, Jack, basically, in no uncertain terms, quit Aegis and was like, I'm going to go save my friends. A lot more things happened, like his potential love interest, who is a mole, which I've told you about the mole playbook, which is like it's like the Terra playbook in which they work for a villainous organization that is directly opposed to some of the team's goals. And their main conflict is like, how do we deal with that? And like, his character, Sam, she has been kind of the love interest of my character, Jack. Because it was really interesting because, it was Aegis versus the villainous organization, with them kind of being like a proxy war with that. And a lot happened today. Again, Jack quit Aegis. Sam ended up almost stabbing a guy with an evil sword, and Jack stopped her. And it's kind of, a lot of that's hitting a fever pitch. Our bull ended up joining Aegis to become a soldier. So a lot happened. Like, and Taylor's character Carmen showed that she could be super powerful. And Cindy, who's Jay's character, did a lot too. And their character's mom is still missing. So there was a lot of plot threads. Unfortunately, it was getting so late. Like, we were like, we have to stop now because we need to get to bed. We need to get things all taken care of. So we usually play every other week. We might actually play next Friday because there's so many plot threads that are open that it was just so good. There's so much to go with, and it was just great. Like I said, I think this might have been my favorite session of all time. And that's a really high bar because we've had a lot of good sessions. But this one, just so much cool stuff happened that, like, I'm so excited for the next one. So I want to talk a little bit more about the trip now, because I know it's going to be all jumping around in this video, but I really want to talk about tonight's session because it was so good. So the trip was great. We ended up doing about 40 miles over 6 days. We were actually really lucky the first 3 days of the week. No rain, no bad weather, but the last 3 days it rained on us a lot. Or it rained on us a lot on 2 of the days, but on days 1 and day 3. I guess technically day 4 and day 6. Day 5 was actually pretty good weather. We were just stuck in a cloud all day. Until we got to camp, and when we got to our camp, it really started to rain. So we were pretty happy to get there on time, and it poured that night. Like, on our last day, it was only 3.6 miles, but it was a really hard 3.6 miles because there was so much mud, so many like water hazards that we had to try and get around. But it was still a really enjoyable trip. We ended up bringing too much food. We definitely brought way too much food. Like, I think I came back with like a full one full bag of trail mix and a half bag of trail mix, and there were several meals we didn't eat because we didn't quite have our appetites, because you don't usually get that until after your first week. But one of our real highlights of the trip actually was our last night, because we were in a really cool campsite. We were in a shelter, and it was pouring down rain, so we had a lot of people in there. We had a couple thru hikers. One of them was a hiker Greg, cool guy. There was also Boulder Patrol, who was from Colorado, and she was really cool and just interesting. We had Spoonless, who was an old thru hiker. He wasn't thru hiking this time, but he's done a lot of thru hiking in the past. And he had such a wealth of knowledge about doing trails and things like that. There was us. We had a guy named Steve in our tent, or not in our shelter, who was from Pennsylvania. Was a defense contractor involving submarines. So he was just kind of cool to talk to. And all I was like, it was pouring down rain, so we just we hung out in the shelter that night. And then we ended up kind of staying a little later because we wanted to try and avoid most of the rain. We did avoid most of the rain. It stopped raining more or less around 10 a.m. And that was about when we took off. Like, it rained us a little bit, but didn't rain us that much, so it wasn't that bad. But all in all, it was like really good. It was really muddy. Like, if there's one thing I could say, it was very muddy. Like, my boots are disgusting still. Luckily, I'm going on a hike tomorrow, which will be nice. Should kick off some of that mud on them. But looking forward, because it's gonna be doing with my friend Carrie. We're gonna be doing Mount Noratuk, followed by the Horse Caves, and going a little further from there, which should be really nice. Should be a really nice hike. I'm looking forward to it. I'm also looking forward to not carrying 40 pounds of weight on my back. I guess 35 pounds of weight on my back, really, because it's just gonna be like my day pack, a few snacks, some water. Just all that stuff. But no, otherwise, looking forward to it. As I said, I was a little frustrated about the quarantine this week, because I really was looking forward to starting work this past Wednesday. But I'll have to look forward to it on this coming Wednesday. So, Tony, my question for you is, what was your favorite mask session you've ever had? Tony, I'll see you on Monday. Later, bro.